Mavericks, game 4. And this one was a good one. Warriors looking for the sweep. Mavericks trying to avoid elimination. Under a minute to go in the first. Mavs up 3. Luka pulling up from deep. Boom. Buries it. They lead by 4 after 1. And then on the second, Doncic on the bench. Mavs up 6. Spencer Dinwiddie doing work. Going to Davis Bertans. The pump fake and dunks it. The supporting cast, JJ, I think really got going in this one as Jalen Brunson puts it in.
Jalen Brunson was good as always. Reggie Bullock had a big night. Maxi Kleber had some great moments. And, of course, Dorian Finney-Smith was good as well. But, look, it all comes down to Luka and him being in attack mode. Everything the Mavs do is set up by Luka Doncic.
They were up 15 at the break, and then this happened. A rain delay in basketball. Can you believe it? Luka and Steph watching the crew work on a leak. And look at Mark Cuban just stewing what is going on with our stadium. Third quarter, Mavs up 20, though. He's loving this. Doncic backing down Clay, and there's the happy Mark Cuban. 7 minutes to go in the third, 22-point game. Steph dancing with Luka. Who wins this one? You know who. Luka making it rain all game. They needed umbrellas. Luka with 30 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. Mavericks hang on for the 10-point win, and here's Luka after the game.
I mean, I still believe we can win, you know, so swept or not swept, at the end, if you lose, you lose. So it doesn't matter how many we win, but we have to go game by game. We're going to believe till the end.
There's reason to believe when Luka's on your team, he's amazing, right? He's had 5 straight 30-point games when facing elimination to begin his career. The only player with a longer streak is Elgin Baylor. He's averaging over 36 points in elimination games, the highest of any player in NBA history. The things he is doing in elimination games, just historic. JJ Redick joining us, Vince Carter back. JJ, what specifically did you see from the Mavericks that enabled them to breathe life into this series?
Well, a lot of this had to do with their three-point shooting. In the first 2 series, they've shot 46% and 48% on open threes. Going into game 4, they had been shooting 33% on open threes. Last night, that was not the case. They shot the you-know-what out of the ball. 20 of 43 from 3. And so much of what they do is breaking down the defense, getting into the paint, creating opportunities for their spot-up shooters, and they did that time and time again last night.
Yep, big difference with them getting into the paint, getting rebounds. And Vince, I wonder if the Mavs found the cheat code for beating the Warriors.
The cheat code is to continue to play hard and make shots. That's what it is, and defend. And I think that's what was the key more so than anything. We know Luka's going to do what Luka does, but he was able to get off the ball, let guys get into rhythm and knock down shots. And that's important to him, for him to be able to close out games for the Mavericks. Because if they're not if they're not knocking down shots while Luka is getting 30 and 40 points, they're going to struggle. That's just what it is. And we've seen that. And we've seen where they're three-headed monster with Luka, Dinwiddie, and Brunson. When those 3 guys score big numbers, they still didn't win because they're going to need a collective effort, and you saw that last night.
And then we talk about Luka all the time, JJ, and obviously he did work. But what was really interesting to see in this game is guys like Kleber, guys like Bertans really stepping up to the plate, the supporting cast really coming alive.
Yeah, the games that they've won in this playoff run, those guys have been big. There was that graphic up there basically says it all. The Warriors shot 3 uncontested threes. The Mavs shot 25 uncontested threes. Like, that's what it comes down to. And that speaks a lot about the front line of that defense, being able to break that down, creating an opportunity for the help side to come over, and then kicking it out and getting into ball movement. The Mavs just did that over and over again last night. And they've done that at times this series. They just haven't been able to make open shots.
Right, and not in the way that you had so many people involved. Reggie Bullock also delivering after a really tough previous game. And Vince, the other part of this is Luka. I mean, what he does in these elimination games is nothing short of remarkable, especially when we consider his age.
Absolutely. What he does, he has a lot of confidence, and he's been in these type of situations before, in the Euro League. And one thing about him, he's understanding now. I think he's starting to understand is that, yeah, he can score in bunches and score whenever he wants, but he has to empower his other guys to be great early for him to close out games because, yeah, he can't do it by himself. We saw when he had 42, 46 points or whatever, and they still were losing by 20. So, JJ said it. He needs those other guys to make shots. Yes, they got a little home cooking, feeling good at home. How can they bottle that up to take it on the road to bring it back to Dallas for Game 6 is the question.
Another thing that struck me about this game, JJ, is it almost seemed, and Steph even talked about this, after the game he said, these Mavericks, they had nothing to lose. I don't know if I saw that kind of fire with the Warriors.
You definitely didn't. This game actually reminded me a lot of the Game 5 in Memphis in the previous series where the Warriors, I think they got down by 50-some points. It wasn't quite as egregious last night, but the sense of urgency wasn't there for the Warriors. They need to go back home and get back to playing Warriors basketball. What is that? That's moving the basketball. That's creating open shots through your cutting, through screening. And then, of course, defensively, they just weren't very good last night. The one thing they did well last night, which I think they'll mix in a lot in Game 5, is that zone. The Mavs really struggled against the zone. And granted, some of that was in the fourth quarter when Luka was off the floor for a while. But they need to mix in that zone a little bit because the Mavs have struggled throughout the playoffs against zone.
Yeah, Vince, that seems like that struck you too, what the Warriors need to do to win Game 5. The zone is key for you as well?
The zone is definitely key for me. But let's JJ.
Here with Keyshawn, J. Will and Max on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, as well as ESPN2. You mentioned the game real quick involving last night between Golden State and Dallas, and I don't think anybody's surprised that the Dallas Mavericks won Game 5. I mean, they made over 15 three-pointers again, 11th game this postseason. That's the most single postseason in NBA history. I just get the sense looking at that it wasn't as if Golden State mailed it in. Sometimes the team just gets the best you, Jay Will. Even though Golden State had a 29-point deficit, reduced that to 8 in the fourth quarter for Dallas winds up winning at 119 and 109. But you talked about something before the show today in terms of this was a game that Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks, specifically him, had to get.
Yeah, well, first off, Golden State always tricks off games. They do this, right? So this is in tune with their character. Secondly, we made such a big story about the Denver Nuggets and Jokic, who's a two-time MVP, getting you one game against Golden State. So with that being said, I'm like, all right, Luka, you got to give us one game. Now, Luka comes through in elimination games, averaging over 30 points per game, but the rest of the cast came to play last night. So, look, I like the fact that they're going to make this respectable. I think this will still be a gentleman's sweep. But I thought it was a big game for Luka last night and their cast because when you talk about Dorian Finney-Smith, you talk about Maxi Kleber, you talk about Reggie Bullock, who had a donut last game. 0 points for Reggie Bullock last game. And all of a sudden for him to make 6 threes, for them to go 17 of 20 from 12 from 20 from the three-point line and make a lot of shots, that's what Dallas needed. But they also got into the paint. And when they get into the paint, and they make shots, like that's what the energy is high. That's who they are. They just couldn't. I don't think they can sustain it for a long period of time against the firepower of Golden State. That's what it comes down to.
The beauty of it, though, is Dallas knows what it's about now, and that's important. To be able to go from where you are this year into next year and have some sort of momentum, understanding of what championship basketball is all about. Yeah, you 3-1, you get a gentleman's sweep, so to speak, but you also understand what it's about. Like, you understand the pulse of the game because you haven't been in this position before. Now you're in this position. When you get back there a year or two from now, you make some adjustments in the offseason, and now you get back, you know what to expect. You're not caught off guard, so to speak. And a lot of young organizations with young superstars go through this. The Memphis Grizzlies will go through this. It took the Boston Celtics several years to get back to the position that they're in now because they had to take their lumps and understand and figure it out. Now they look like the favorite to a degree to come out of the East because of the wounds that they had in the past.
Well, it's a second. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Preaching, brother.
I know he really is.
Preaching this morning,
I'm
brother.
just giving you a little facts, man. I mean,
no, I like
you
that.
can disagree with me if you want to.
No, I don't. I agree with
the
you.
internet probably saying shut up right now, but whatever.
Well, the
Don't
internet
focus
tells people
on
to shut
the
up all the time.
internet.
Yeah, leave the internet alone.
Well, you're going to
Stay
tell me
off
what goes
social
on the
media.
internet.
I got you.
You're going to tell me everything.
I got you.
I don't look at it. You tell me, and people send stuff to me. So therefore, Freddie Coleman, Keyshawn Johnson, along with Jay Will, along with Freddie Coleman.
Along with Freddie Coleman. Yo, Freddie, your intro videos in the morning. I'm like, yo, how many times you gonna say our names?
Why not? Do you
No,
want me to
I'm with
brand
it.
your show or not?
I'm with it. I'm with it.
All right then.
By the way, don't get mad at me, Freddie. Key's the one that brought it up.
No, you
I'm not
brought
getting
it up.
mad at
How did I
anybody.
bring it up?
I brought it up just now, but you, when Freddie was not on in the meeting, Jay, stop always acting like a chicken. He brought it up. He said that Freddie always goes Keyshawn, J. Will, Max,